I make it an intention to develop who I am as a person personally, as a human, but also as, in the education system, what can I do out there to really develop myself as a business owner?
Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we're dedicated to helping product-based business owners turn into revenue-generating, successful, happy product bosses. I'm Jacqueline Snyder.
And I'm Mina Kunlo-Sitep. Together through digital courses, coaching, and masterminds, we've helped over 50,000 students from startup to multi-million-dollar businesses scale their sales while blending in their dream life.
It gets lonely out there in the product business world. We fully believe a business shouldn't be built alone. There's room at the top for all of us.
So let's get scrappy and creative together, Product Boss, to be profitable, make more sales, and grow your visibility.
Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey there, friend. Can you believe that the summer is already starting to wind down? It always feels like summer is never long enough, right? And that's exactly why it's so important to make the most of the remaining summer days we have left. Now, as a product boss, you're probably wondering about the best way to do that, especially as we're about to head into our busiest season yet. Now, the answer lies in embracing AI. The latest research reveals that marketers have been able to cut their work time on manual admin tasks in half with the help of AI. I know. Wow. Mind blown. So if you're a product-based business owner wearing all the hats and constantly feeling like there's never enough time in the day, imagine what having your time on those marketing tasks could actually mean for you and your business. That's why HubSpot has integrated AI tools directly into their CRM platform, which features things like ChatSpot and Content Assistant. With a straightforward chat-based command, you can summarize research, create copy, and pull reports in seconds. This means you can spend more of your precious time on things like making your products and shipping and serving your customers. It's time to start working smarter, not harder, Product Boss. Learn more and get started at HubSpot.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Mina Kunlo-Sitep, and I am so happy that you're here. Today, we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is education. Basically, school is coming up, which is so exciting. My kids start school in about a week. And today, I wanted to talk about school/learning for us as adults. I loved school. I don't know if that was you, if you really, I wouldn't say like I was over the top passionate about school, but it was the time where I really looked forward to getting to see my friends again. I always looked forward to a couple of my classes, and that was well into when I was in college and everything. When we were growing up, we were able to kind of hang out in the summer times with our siblings and with our grandparents and our cousins, but we never got to see our friends. And so when school was starting, I always looked forward to being able to see my friends, but also there was certain classes that I always, there's always one or two standout classes that I looked forward to. They always had to do with writing, reading, that sort of thing, as well as like psychology. I went to school for advertising. I loved those classes. And I really, that was one of the skill sets that I think that entrepreneurs and business owners that we share with each other. I don't know if that's you, where you are really great at problem solving, really a lifelong learner, and really enjoy learning about things because we have this natural curiosity. And so I wanted to talk about the different types of learning as we're an adult. I think when we're in school, we're forced to learn. We're forced to hang out with people that are not the same as us. And that creates like this depth of perspective and richness of learning that we carry on with us. And, it forces us into uncomfortable situations, as well as meeting different people and learning about things that we normally wouldn't. And as we get to be adults, we kind of lose that. We lose, that resourcefulness that we might have had to develop as children, and that resilience. So today I'm going to talk about the different types of learning or education that's out there for you as an adult. And I think that it's really important for all of us to really think about, as our kids are going to school, what are we going to do as individuals that will continue our learning for ourselves? Because for us, it really has to do with personal development and personal and professional growth. Whether or not we're not out there doing our 9 to 5 stuff. There's a lot of you that are, which is amazing. I don't know how you do it, but there's a lot of us that have our own businesses. Most of us have our own businesses, and it's that professional growth that I'm talking about there, where you'll create this intelligence and development and skill sets that you may not normally do, because you're challenging yourself to new and different things. And so today we're going to talk about that. And I think it's important for all of us I think it's essential as the world is developing. What I believe is going to set people apart are the ones that are continuing to develop their brain, their bodies, their intelligence, their emotional growth, all of it, where we are out there in the world and trying to live life, right? And the ones that are going to perhaps separate themselves from the usual crowd are all of you, right? The ones that are doing things differently, the ones that are bringing something physical out into the world and saying, here it is. But you also need to continue to develop yourself personally as a business owner so it can flow over to your business. And it does so many things. Just a few things off the top of my head, it helps you adapt to change, right? The world is always evolving, it's always changing. There's advancements in every industry, in technology, in society. And that continuous learning helps us to adapt to new circumstances over and over and over. And as we start to develop those new skills, it really gives us that versatility, right? That resilience that we are able to build as children very easily. But as adults, we need to figure out how we keep being resourceful, how we keep adapting to change. And that really is a key strength of a business owner. Okay. Another reason too is, like I mentioned, we have that natural curiosity, right? It helps to stimulate your brain where you're innovating, during this time where, are we in recession? Are we not in recession? There's so many different things, but out of times of whether it be classified as recession or not, it's a change in economy, right? And during that time, innovation is born. We see businesses grow. We see them take life of their own during these times of economic transition, right? And so as we are learning and developing skills, we are kind of throwing gasoline on a curiosity that we as humans have evolved to really not develop as well when we become adults. But as cave women, we had that natural curiosity to us where we're nurturing it, and it helps us engage in the world that is around us, right? We're forced to ask questions in our brains where it's like, oh, I need to seek out the answers to this. I'm going to explore this new area of interest. And that is really something that is so beautiful when you're learning and developing emotionally as well as intellectually. And another thing is just what I talked about. You want to enhance your skill set, right? It will set you apart. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe in education. When I was growing up, my family, for those of you that know me well, you know that my family is refugee immigrants. And they came here with absolutely nothing. We were really taught that education was going to set us free in a way. It was the American dream. And I still believe that. I do believe that, but I think that it has to do with us as people too. So while we have the education, it has to do with a person, how they use the education, how they're able to take that maybe traditional education that I grew up with and make it their own and create a business off of it. And, keep putting themselves out into the world and meeting challenges and picking themselves back up every time they hit a stumbling block. And I think that is the skill enhancement of feeling like, maybe you have stumbled, but you're able to pick yourself up, and that overall confidence and broadening of perspective because you get to meet different people. You are able to expose yourself to different scenarios and different things. And it's that law of exposure that develops you as a human, but also because you're able to, but you're focusing on committing to enhancing your skill set. So then that develops you overall as a person. As an adult, I make it an intention to develop who I am as a person, personally, as a human, but also as, in the education system, what can I do out there to really develop myself as a business owner? And I think we tend to attract those same people. All of you, raise your hand if you're attracted to myself and Jacqueline because you love to learn, you love to solve problems, you want to see your business grow, you are, met with that challenge of putting yourself out there over and over again. And you also like to have that layer of community and networking and perhaps accountability. And that is why you're here. So I'm going to go over the basically 4-ish types of learning out there that I think you all can decide what is right for you. We all learn in various different ways. And I truly believe that we learn in various ways depending on the season of life that we're in. Sometimes, when my kids were growing up, when they were smaller, I mean, they're still growing up. Right now I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, right? But when they were 2 and 4 and, a baby, it was really where I was adjusting to how I was going to learn. At that time, I was more into auditory, which I would stick an earbud in my ear and listen to things on the go because I was juggling so many things. And it helps me to, one, kind of calm myself down, just from being I wouldn't say I'm a high strung person, but I tend to over worry sometimes and need to kind of have that push of, take action, whether or not it's perfect or not. And honestly, it always is imperfect. So I would have an earbud in my ear and be listening to, a few things, but also be doing things like washing dishes, taking care of the babies, whatever it was. And that really helped. And now I've really adjusted to really thinking about as my kids are going to school, how am I going to actually really be learning? And I have really up leveled my types of learning. So I'm going to go through these in kind of those stages to see what's right for you, because I do think that some of them require more commitment than others. And you'll see that too. And I think that before I start, I want to say that there's a difference of commitment. I want you all to be committed as you're going through perhaps different challenges or different courses or different masterminds with us. There's a difference between, partaking a little bit or being like piqued in interest and a difference of being committed. Committed means that you're committed, you're involved. And I gave some examples of this when I was on a Get Ready With Me, which I was committed to that challenge of doing a Get Ready With Me on Instagram. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. Did I know how to do it? I did not. But I wanted to talk about commitment because I think that that's a skill set that is lacking out there in the world. And all of you that commit to learning will see the rewards that will come with that. That is what's going to separate you and set you apart, is the commitment to intentionally learning and developing yourselves. So the first type of learning that I want to go through, and I'm going to go through not free, but paid. Okay. Like when you are commitment, when there's skin in the game, you're paying for something, like you pay for a college course. You're more apt to learn and more apt to partake in it. So the first one is courses. There's so many courses out there for every sort of thing. I'm going to go through there's usually self-paced courses. So kind of what Jacqueline and I call do-it-yourself courses. These are self-educating courses. You take the course, maybe you'll have lifetime access, maybe you won't. It's kind of the tangent of what traditional education is now. So you can pay for any type of course. There's courses on home organization. There's courses on how to cook, how to eat, how to organize, how to with multi-stream machine, it's how to get onto more platforms and make more money in your business and more profit. So it's how to grow your business. There is how to write books, how to, there's all types of courses out there. This is where I really love to at least be taking one course all the time. Right now, I'm kind of dabbling into how to, like, I just bought a course on how to dig into my human design. Human design is essentially your birth chart, your how you're wired in this world. And for me, I'm a manifester. There's projector, there's reflector, there is what is the other one? Generator. And so I want to learn more about that so I know I can grow myself personally. And so I bought a course about human design. And so I'm digging into that course. It's a lifetime access, all the things. There is hundreds of people right now that are joining multi-stream machine. They are in that season of life, same as myself and Jacqueline, where we are growing our businesses. We are actively and proactively getting out there and building revenue streams are in our business, multiple streams of revenue. How do we do it? That's what courses are for. Walks you step by step by step through all of those. And a lot of courses have the audio version. This particular human design course that I'm taking right now, oftentimes I will take multiple courses too, but in this case, my brain is, you know, only ready for one at a time right now. And so it's kind of like I tend to read multiple books at the same time. So I can keep coming back to them wherever I am. Sometimes I go through them in chronological order, but most times I hop around. I kind of pop in and out in what I'm feeling that day. And so, in multi-stream machine, for example, there's audio, there's video, and there is worksheets. So you can use whatever type of learning that fits your mode. If you're pen to paper, those worksheets really help. If you're auditory, just like I mentioned before, then you can pop one earbud in and decide if you want to watch the video later on. So it really pulls something out of you of interest that you're able to learn and soak it in, right? We all learn and digest information differently. So that was courses. So decide whether or not this coming time of school year beginning, if a course is right for you, and consider if multi-stream machine is a thing for you. Like I said, there's hundreds of people that are in there right now. There's overall 3,500 people in there, and they're learning together in this course so they can learn together. And that's another way of really retaining information is you work with it and commit to it with other people at the same time. Why? Because it makes it more fun and you're able to retain that in your brain a lot better. The second way of learning that you might want to consider is called group coaching. Group coaching typically is where you are in a Zoom call setting, so a video call setting, like a Zoom session, and there's usually a coach or an expert there that coaches multiple people at the same time. Usually this is large group, in the hundreds sometimes, where it is answering certain questions or putting people in a hot seat. The reason why this is beneficial or why it works is because let's say you decide I want to go into a group coaching program. And like I said, the commitment and the dollars are different. So usually courses are a certain amount and group coaching is more than that. You pay more than that. The skin is more in that game. Okay. And so group coaching is where the reason why it works is because usually there's a subset of questions that get answered. So in our group coaching programs in like multi-stream machine next level, so MSM next level, we answer questions. The reason why that works is because that tends to be the questions that get answers to them tend to be the questions that get asked all the time. The reason why group coaching is so effective is because those experts, like let's say myself and Jacqueline, we've seen tens of thousands of businesses. So there's so many similar questions, so many patterns, so many different things. And for all of the hundreds of people that are in there, they don't know what they don't know. So you will not believe the amount of questions that get asked that are actually the same, and the amount of aha moments that happen in there where you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know to ask that question. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know, right? So group coaching is the next version of learning that is super beneficial because in that setting, there's lots of times where people do their own pods. They reach out to different people. This is encouraged heavily in our MSM next level, where we're like, hey, make some friends. If you're working in getting your, wholesale arm figured out, reach out to other people that are doing the same thing. And we have these threads and everything that everybody can reach out to each other. We encourage that because, like I said, when you're learning and you do it in that setting, you're able to gain perspective that you might have blind spots to. And it just honestly makes it more fulfilling when you're working in that group setting. Remember working, I know that it sucked to be in a group where I hated working in group settings. That's different when you're an adult, when you actually get to choose the group. You're excited about growing your business. You made the intentional decision that we are working on this all at the same time. And it's not like you're forced to be working on that in different seasons. I always say that if that person is not in that season to be actively contributing or networking, I've been in those seasons before where I'm just like, this is not the season where I want to put myself out there, then that's okay. You make friends during that time with those people that are. So that is group coaching. And that is, like I said, usually typically one expert or coach that is coaching whether it's dozens or hundreds of people, it's a big group of people that have similar questions. And it's working in a group setting.
Hey friend, I'm just going to interrupt this episode really quickly because it's podcast recommendation time. Okay, so this month we are really enjoying the Hustle Daily Show. It's hosted by Zachary Crockett, Jacob Cohen, Robert Litters, and Julie Bennett, which is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. The Hustle Daily Show brings you a daily dose of offbeat and informative takes on the most recent interesting business and tech stories. One of my favorite things about the show is how on top of the stories they are, because they make sure that their episodes are always released and relevant to what's currently happening in the world. So one of their most recent episodes is all about the writer's strike, which is happening in Hollywood. And it's actually affecting my family because if you don't know it, my husband is an actor and now his union as the actors are striking and the writer's strike. And they're really talking about what AI has to do with those strikes. And let me tell you, it is so informative because as business owners, I think it's so crucial for us to understand what's happening in the world outside of our own market to see how it can play into our businesses as well. Because while AI is amazing, there are a lot of cons for writers and actors. And this episode is really interesting and they dig in and they'll give you their take on it. So I can't wait for you to dive into that episode. Listen to the Hustle Daily Show wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, Product Boss. Okay, it's your Product Biz Coach here, Jacqueline, and I have a treat for you. So the other day we got a message on Instagram from our friend Lolly. Now she's a product boss and she was on the hunt for an easy to use inventory management software to keep track of her raw goods and what she had ready to sell. And guess what? We had an answer for her. Not only did we have a fantastic inventory management software to refer her to, but we also had a whole treasure chest of 308 other business tools and resources to make her product-based business easier to manage and more efficient to grow. And we have it for you as well. Now picture this: packaging and printing supplies, affiliate management, website and email software, legal resources, video and photo tools. Oh my, you name it, we've got it. And here's the cherry on top. It is totally free, right? It's not going to cost you a single penny. That's right, because you can get your hands on the Product Boss's Ultimate Resource Guide absolutely free. We are on a mission to change small businesses' lives and their ability to grow around the world. And whatever we can do to help you do that, we are here for it. And so we're hoping that this resource guide is one step closer to reaching your dreams. So all you need to do is slide into our DMs on Instagram with the word guide and just send us that message and we will send you a link to download it right away. Or you can head straight to theproductboss.com/resource guide. Easy peasy. Oh, and did I mention you can also DM us guide on Instagram and voila, we'll shoot you that link right away. So, my friend, don't wait another second. You can get your hands on the ultimate resource guide for product bosses right now. Now, let's jump back into the show.
Okay. The next one is, I want to say, there's usually a hybrid of these two, the courses and the group coaching. And that is what multi-stream machine is. So you'll see this a lot in not just multi-stream machine, but other things where it's a hybrid because it's an overall program where you're working with others, hence group coaching. And they are intaking the same information as you, but there's a course that is the backbone of it, which is multi-stream machine, right? You are going back into there and you're on the same trajectory and path as those people. So what's come of the, education, digital education that's out there is typically a hybrid of those two, courses and group coaching. But you can absolutely have ones that are not hybrid. So courses that are just standalone courses, group coaching that are just standalone group coaching. Okay. And then you get to choose between those separate two things. Or if you want to purchase a program that is a combination of both, depending on how well you learn and what season of life you're in. The next thing is high dollar small group masterminds. So this is something that I started out in doing courses and I still take courses. I also now am in a I partake in a lot of masterminds, small group ones that might be at most 12 people, at least maybe 4 or 5. Masterminds don't work well unless so Jacqueline and I started in masterminds. We have coached hundreds of people in masterminds. And the ideal number, I think, is around 8 people up to 12 people. That is the sweet spot. If there's only 4 or 5 people, that can work. But usually if there's somebody missing, you can feel that person missing. And that's what makes it hard when you only have like 4 people, And so what masterminding is you're getting together and you are getting that collective wisdom of the individuals, of their backgrounds, of their experiences, and their knowledge. A lot of times it has to do with peer knowledge and peer, P-E-E-R, not P-U-R-E, but that's great too. Peer as in you are there with your peers and they are engaging with you and you're engaging with them to bring together a collective wisdom, hence mastermind. There is an accountability factor to that where, you're able to set goals, commitments within the group, and you're following through with that to meet the expectations and support of your peers that are there with you. And you're able to brainstorm with them. They're able to pick you up when you're having a bad day, same sort of thing. And you're able to kind of motivate and inspire each other in a safe setting. You're talking numbers, you're talking behind the scenes, you're talking about teams, right? All of it is openly discussed, the challenges, the fears, the, growth goals, all of that. And Jacqueline and I, we do that with our masterminders and we facilitate that for them. And then we're able to, ours is a hybrid. Again, I'm going to talk about hybrid. Ours is a hybrid of that group coaching and masterminding because we're coaching, but we're also making room and space, safe space for masterminding. It is able to develop partnerships in a way of, I don't mean like transactional partnerships. I mean friendships and bonds and all of that, where the masterminds are really about spending time with each other and turning to each other. instead of turning to us, for example, myself or Jacqueline, they're turning to their mastermind, their co-masterminders. So that is everywhere out there where there's different masterminds that you pay more for, that you're able to heavily develop your skills and confidence and knowledge and wisdom in a more in-depth setting where you're kind of sharing a little bit more too. So for all of you, I'm going to go through that again. There's courses that are self-paced, self-education. There is group coaching that is, one coach or expert to dozens, maybe hundreds of people. There is a hybrid of that, which is, a program of courses and group coaching. There's masterminds, which is small group coaching. So, not coaching, small group, collective of people that come together from different backgrounds and experiences that mastermind with each other. And they have the small group of masterminders. And then there's a hybrid of that where, like Jacqueline and I have, which is kind of like there is the facilitator also coaches at the same time. And then last but not least, and again, this is a sliding scale of typically in education, how much they cost. So courses can go from low dollar and masterminds are typically high dollar. And then there's the highest dollar, but the more in depth, which is one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching is fully customized typically, where you're working with one individual and they are working in depth with you on your business. Tends to be more high dollar because they are working with you in a one-to-one format where you are perhaps meeting with them, you're setting goals with them, you are talking in depth about the challenges that you have, and you're making a decision with this other person based on your specific business. This differs from masterminding because masterminding is a group of people where, yes, you are making decisions together, but you put that through your own filter because it's a collective, right? A collective. Whereas the one-on-one coaching is this other person that is a mentor of yours. You don't have to obviously do what they do or do what they tell you every single time. You shouldn't. You should always run all of this through your own filter of, is this right for my business? But they just happen to know more in depth about your business that they are able to give you they're able to work with you in a fully developed decision-making process where they're like, hey, based on your business, if it was me, this is what I would do. And it's more thought out for you specifically, for you in that time specifically. So one-on-one coaching tends to be the highest dollar. Imagine it's like having a mentor slash therapist sometimes slash coach slash partner in life, spouse. I don't know, right? A lot of times people think that coach, that one-on-one coach has to be all those things and they expect that of them. But really that coach, typically that business coach is there to help you make decisions based on your specific business. And so that's why it ends up being more expensive, is because they're spending more time with you and they're fully gaining that knowledge with you. And they're able to help develop that relationship where they're thinking, okay, this is your specific goals. This is your specific progress. This is your specific environment that you're in. And they're able to support you in that way. And so that is the other version of education that you can have. Okay. So I say this because as we're going into the rest of 2023, the back half of it, and our kids are going into school, whether or not we have kids or not, we're able to think about, how do I want to develop myself as a small business owner and as a individual living my life out there in the world? And for all of you that love school, that want to set yourself apart in the world, And in that natural curiosity that you have in yourself, that you want to develop that, bring it to light, pull those strengths out of you, that natural genius of you being a small business owner and being an entrepreneur, you have to develop it. So you do that by continuing to learn as an adult. So think about, and I'm going to give you till the end of, this week to think about how you're going to intentionally learn for these next coming months. Are you going to commit yourself to taking a course? Like I said, there's hundreds of people joining Multi-Stream Machine. So much fun, so much learning, and so excited to see all of those businesses grow and make more money and add streams of revenue to their businesses. I really hope that's you and that you are thinking about the future of your business and the long-term goals that you have, as well as the short-term goals. Or is it maybe you want to look into group coaching where you're with other people and you are led by an expert or a coach with, dozens, maybe hundreds of other people? Or are you thinking about maybe a mastermind, a small group mastermind that you are going to invest more money into and commit to the rest of the year or maybe 6 months to? That's usually how long masterminds happen, is because believe me, there's no such thing as an overnight success. In my opinion, it should be a year-long mastermind that you're committing to see where you are now to where you want to be. And you develop a year-long vision of who I am now and who I'm going to be by the end of this mastermind. Or is it one-on-one coach where you need that extra accountability or mentorship where you're working one-on-one with another person? And that again is a more high dollar commitment. So choose one of those. Think about where you want to be at the end of this year and at the end of, August of next year, and see which type of learning and progress that is right for you and development. So you can start to separate yourself from other people, because most people are on the world and they are just out there living their lives, living on their back heel. I want you to live on the proactive front heel where you're developing and you're having fun and you're excited about, adopting new habits and this lifelong curiosity that you have in you, and this development of different perspectives, meeting other people, engaging in learning and building that resilience and skill that I was talking about earlier that will lead to innovation in your business and in your life. Okay. And the confidence too. So thanks everybody for listening, and I will talk to you later. I hope to see you in Multi-Stream Machine. I believe that when you're listening to this, doors might be closing soon. So if they are closed, reach out to us, see how you can learn more about Multi-Stream Machine. There might be a wait list, but where you go is multistreammachine.com. The link is in the show notes, and I am excited to see you in there. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us.